everyone, and welcome! Hey, Drizzle, how are you doing? Ow! Fuck! Shit! Okay, sorry, I just, managed to trap my fingers inside of my hair for some reason. It's still too warm. That's the problem when you have long hair and it's warm. It starts, it just starts tangling. It's hell. Yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. Update is out today. We now have a big rework in terms of gun balance. That's going to be very interesting, actually, to try out. There's also stuff to unlock. As you have challenges, contracts in the game, so we'll see how that works out. And yeah, I guess we just jump right in. I was wondering if I should do this or Payday 2. Who knows? Maybe we will do a bit of Payday 2 the other day, because I think the beta is. I still want to see how general some feedback is, and I think there's gonna be some hot fixes happening the next days. So this is probably gonna be a good thing to wait. But from what I heard, oh my god, it's buttery smooth now, which is amazing. Why not? So, from what I gathered, generally spread has been increased in the game. Good. A thing everyone wanted. The recoil patterns have been made more consistent. Also good. There is more drag and lower muzzle velocity and higher drag / damage fall off. Also good. And on top of that, we also have now different damage multipliers per limb. So headshots apparently do more damage. Body shots are now split into chest and abdomen. And abdomen is doing lower damage, which, yeah, fuck. I know. Oh yeah, you get shot in your liver. It's just half the damage than getting shot in the chest, which is not wrong, by the way. Look, yeah, getting shot in the abdomen, that's bad. You will probably die. Getting shot through the chest, you are probably dead. There is a small difference here. No, okay. A very small difference, I'd say. Seems not a big difference on standard different distances. Yep. Not gotten one of those contracts yet, though.
Objective Charlie has been secured.
I'm not even remotely surprised that I get hit. Hey, goddamn.
Enemy attack confirmed, Charlie. We have secured Charlie. Our attack on Bravo is underway.
Huh. I definitely think the spread is higher, so... Why is the... So I can run through the building, but no... Okay.
We have Bravo under attack.
Be advised, Alpha is under attack.
If those contract slash field orders would drop a bit more,
Advise the enemy is attacking Alpha.
but doesn't seem like that's the case. Also, hi bot
Our attack on Echo is underway.
and bye bot. Be gone to the abyss. I am. I am slightly wondering if at least for the multiplayer part of this event, if it wouldn't have been better if they had experimented with the system from Homefront. As in, like, for everyone who doesn't know how Homefront worked, the idea was basically this: the more people you kill in a on a streak, the more perks you got. But you got marked on the map as well a high value target, and if you then got killed, you got the people who killed you got like a lot of points. And well, in Homefront, points were like all the things you bought, like vehicles and shit from. So going after those targets was not a dumb idea.
Still ahead in the fight. Maintain your attack. Hostiles now hold more objectives. Out.
It would be a bit more dynamic, I would say, instead of waiting for stuff. Oh, there is one. Oh. Okay, so there is a contract at sea. Well, fuck. Yes. Time to make our way over.
We now control more objectives. Secure our defenses.
Be advised, the enemy has secured objective Delta.
There we go.
Objective Charlie has been secured.
That's doable. I say. What do you mean there?
Our forces have neutralized Bravo. Our forces are still winning. Good work.
The enemy have taken more objectives. I'm tracking a hostile tank in the AO. We are targeting Alpha.
Attack launched on Bravo.
What do you mean my squad is unable to get 10 kills in 3 minutes? Oh. Someone? Maybe? Ten kills. 10 kills.
Thank you so much. Enemy tag!
We're ahead of the fight. Let's maintain control.
Yeah, it definitely feels like I can't beam as consistently now anymore on range. Which is good. That's like definitely a good change.
Bravo heading for victory. Maintain attack on all fronts.
I'm fucking hit!
I don't know what to say other than holy shit. A lot of stuff is doable, you know, complete matches, earn objective score, get kills, you know, not a problem. Deal damage as a squad, doable. Win matches, absolutely. Deal damage with primary weapons. Oh, wait, there's, soon. But the thing is just, I mean, what can I say? The squad failed to do 10 kills in 3 minutes. I don't know what... That's not even unreasonable. Einmal mit Profis. Well, those are some, you know, account numbers I like to see. We're going to have, neither time actually also picking up the fucking contracts. Yeah, generally, I do think they should have definitely played around with the... I mean, look. Am I probably the biggest homefront defender left on the planet? Yes! I'm right though, homefront is amazing. And recently I only found out there were like, some people literally organized filling up some servers on a weekend, and I missed that, and I'm still pissed. But definitely one of those, look, you should take some notes from it game. Even if it's just the event mode. Ooh. Like, for example, having the quote-unquote command... It's called Commander, yes, but it's not really Commander. Like, not in the sense that people know it from Battlefield. But the idea of like, oh hey, you have to, you know, you get some bonuses for killing people or, you know, doing stuff, and people, in return getting, stuff for killing you. That's neat. You know, if you then put like something like Scott Collins, it would be kind of nice to combine that. Ooh. Not to mention that the main game mode of Homefront is actually pretty good, and they could also steal that, but that's a different topic.
We are ahead of the enemy. Mission's on track.
We need attack support on the marked objective.
Fuck! Oh, I need a medic!
Yep.
Forces have neutralized Bravo.
Okay.
I'm over here, take it!
There we go. That's one down. 9 to go.
Our forces are still winning. Good work.
I would like to see the contracts on the minimap, I guess.
Bravo is being secured. We need to rally defense to the marked objective.
Need a medic! Medic!
It's the next one, actually. Oh yeah, right. Huh, that's easy.
We've begun our assault on Charlie. Be advised, Bravo has been lost.
Game just crashed. It... Okay. Okay. I guess we will restart. If I have another crash, maybe I'm actually just trying one or two highest at Payday 2 and calling it a day then. That is unfortunate. Hmm. Oh well. That's a loud airplane. Why is someone flying that low? Anyway, what did I even unlock? Muzzle compensator. Ah. Let's jump in again. See how this next time works. Firestorm. That's actually gonna be an interesting one. Well, I think one, someone is not contributing, and two will be contributing, but we'll see. Someone is out, I guess. At least one competent person in the squad, apparently.
All call signs, you are clear to attack. Secure the OBJs and investigate any hostile acts. Move out. We've secured Charlie.
Look out, these ATs!
Air support confirmed. Pilots are ready to deploy.
Defend order has been set.
Okay. I feel like those should be a little bit more resistant, but so also I think they should actually remove. They should remove that you can destroy the ceilings everywhere, but that's a different topic. That was just ass on my end.
Targeting Alpha.
I need a fucking medic!
Taken Alpha is being neutralized. All right, we have secured more objectives. Let's hold it.
Damage contract shouldn't be too hard.
Bravo is under enemy control.
Deal damage 1000. Good. Come on. Come on, squad. Now we have a tank. Wow. I have V coming in. Good. That's what I'm talking about. See?
I got you!
Down, man down! Enemy dead! It's a garrison!
Bravo has been neutralized. Attack support needed on the marked objective. Taking the lead. Move on that objective. Got eyes on enemy tank.
Oh. Oh. Did that work? Okay. You know what? I still stim as an assault because I feel like, oh yeah, you know, you heal like in 2042 where it made sense. Or Bad Company 1 where it also made sense. Like all the other titles where they had that and it made sense.
Okay, our forces are controlling the fight. Keep pushing. We need to rally defense on the marked objective. We now hold objective Bravo.
Get cover! Bring it down!
We're attacking objective
Enemy
Alpha.
tank spotted!
Target that location! Need a medic!
There's definitely less beaming going on over the, you know, really long distances. I don't think it is as, you know, strong as... I take shit back. What was that?
The enemy have taken more objectives.
I'm sorry, I think they need to actually They might need to revert the headshot modifiers though. Maybe. Like, not that they are, you know, just, like, actually tune them down a bit because, you know, it's not that this is, like, the whole limb damage thing was a bad idea, but, like, they might have overtuned it a bit. Hey, nice. At least in that regard, because, like, let me put it like this. If you want to have a system that basically is like, hey, we limit a bit more on at which range you can engage, and also exactly that. Okay, let me put it like this. I think the one thing they really need to just probably turn down a bit more is the headshot modifier again. I think the original values were completely fine, and they have overdone it. Because basically, what happened is, yes, you do overall less damage if you don't hit precisely. But if any bullet hits your head, you know, we're starting to approach like super fast time to kill territory, and do we really want that? Basically, now you kind of created up to chance super bullets again, to a degree. I think that kind of defeats the point a little bit. Well, so no one is picking up. Oh, there is a. Okay, I mean, vehicle destruction contract should be doable. It should be doable. It's not the hardest thing to do. One picks it up, and that's that. I'm just like... This is a very weird implementation.
More objectives. Let's hold it.
Last mover, heads up!
Taking objective Charlie.
Medic!
Attack support needed on the marked objective.
Okay, so the contract is gone now. Okay, we need to find another one.
Be advised, we've lost objective Bravo. Hostiles now hold more objectives. Out. Attack support needed on the marked objective.
Hostile forces have maintained control of the fight. Get cover!
Stay with me! Hey! Under fire! Agent, hold on! Cheers! Thank you. Who's got rocket? Enemy tech!
It's kind of interesting. Kind of, the game does feel similar. Yeah, when you shoot, you have these. Oh yeah, I think I can't beam that much over distances anymore. Good. But then you also have those moments where, well, you just die super fast. And I think that final thing I definitely need to readdress. Again, that's the thing where I feel they need to reduce the headshot multiplier again. It was fine. It was fine. Because, I think the big difference here is just that, before this patch, when you got beamed over distance, so I basically hit his head once, he almost instantly died. That's not how this should work, to a degree, I'd say.
The enemy has secured Charlie. controlled more objectives. Keep pushing.
Also would be definitely my 2 critique points overall right now. Make the event a bit more working. You know, like home front, and otherwise, I guess, get the headshot multiplier out again. That's kind of it.
Be advised, the enemy now controls more objectives.
Marked objective under threat. Let's defend the position.
Be advised, the enemy is still winning the fight. Get back and take control.
We're losing on all fronts. Target their positions. The enemy still controls more objectives. The battle is still being controlled by the enemy. We've secured Charlie. Attack the marked objective. Objective Charlie has been lost. The enemy holds all positions. We need to recover ground.
Well, that didn't go well. Oh, we're above 200 now. Nice. Why did I have progress with the MP5? What? I definitely should play P90 then, I guess. No, I'm really tired today. I don't know why, actually. I should have taken another nap. But, well, what can you do? Happens. At least I can say it is not warm anymore. Like, I'm so happy about that. Like, legit, I am so looking forward to the fact that I can just, well, I can just have a walk later today. A walk! Another walk! Yes, it was already nice. I hope everyone else is also enjoying the fact that that at least the heat wave is temporarily done in Europe. Even though, you know, it will probably happen again this year. And that's not good, actually. Like, like just before I started streaming, there we saw a video from someone working in, you know, ambulance services, and he's completely right. This weekend was already like the biggest fucking you know, problem that we could have had. Like, quite literally, it was horrendously. But, as you also point out correctly, most politicians and people will probably just, you know, look at them and be like, oh no, this is bad, so much happened, and then, you know, the heat wave's over. We don't need to think about that now anymore, right? You know, aside from the fact that the second one will be coming, and look, I'm not looking forward to it, and I don't know what I will do. It would genuinely not surprise me if I am just going to invest in, like, at least a mobile AC. Just to get the temperature, like, a few degrees Celsius down. The room we have should be perfectly fine for that. Still.
Thanks. Thank you.
Charlie is under enemy control.
It definitely is one of those, oh, why is no one doing things? And, you know, now it's over. Why do we need to, you know, take care of anyone? Like, you have stuff, wrong people again. Hey, how are we doing? What do you want me to pew instead is the question. Should I, there we go. You know the answer. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I couldn't do it on, I had to cancel that on Sunday. Like, I think I generally had something due to the heat because, like, it was very painful. I was thinking about doing it maybe on Monday, but Agonia was like, nah, we're playing Monster Hunter. You can do that somewhere else, and, like, yeah. And here becomes Valorant streamer arc. Waiting for you to start. Now I finished that video. Damn it! Oh my god! Yeah, so the vote on it was like in time, but because I let my Discord decide on what is on when it was basically coming up, but also, yeah, Sunday just didn't work out. Hope you are doing well though, and got relatively safe through the heat wave. Like, I'm generally, as I said, I'm generally looking into maybe getting a portable AC because it's like, look, if you hear that on one day alone, 120 people died in Cologne alone. No, sorry, we already are at like the emergency level. As someone pointed, as the video that I watched pointed out, that's the shit people said would be the worst case scenario during Corona, like during COVID. But that wasn't that. It was the heat wave. They literally turned like. Yes, I know. They turned the Cologne how's it called you know where Gamescom is. They literally turned that into an emergency hospital.
I owe you one.
Like, you don't put up emergency hospitals if like it wasn't like horribly bad. And they did that because they had to evacuate like elderly care homes. They had to evacuate hospitals because they all didn't have ACs, which is. What do you mean old people are just getting cooked alive? But again, well, the heatwave is now over, so... Well, you know... Do I really need to buy an AC now? And, like, look, I have some money. I will. Like, our TV is breaking down. There's a lot of stuff. I could buy Gunpla from that. But let's be real here. No matter where we go, it is literally the worst scenario in disaster movie. It is horribly bad. And like, I know, like the more I actually, and the only thing that like makes me angry is the fact that the more you inform yourself about mobile ACs, the more you realize those are not even that good. They have significant drawbacks. But you know, no one has ever like went and were like, maybe we should just like tell landlords they have to install AC in their buildings because at some point people are just dying. Like the most vulnerable of the population are dying due to the heat. Because yeah, because the big problem that no one seems to be talking about, or like precisely brings up, is the fact that it's not only that the heat waves are getting more, they are getting longer. Like a heat wave before was maybe 1 or 2 days. Now it's 7 to 8 days. Looking at the foldable bath for my apartment right now. Hey, you know what? No, that's actually completely fair. I still would need to check how I personally should, you know, set up the AC here, but nah, it's AC and more fans is definitely going to be the way to go here because it is brutal. It is brutal. And yeah, the thing is, everyone, even like personally, would probably just go, well, the heat wave is over, and like, will I be able to actually, will I even need the AC this soon again? And the answer is, I will use it next year and the year after, and it's just going to be, because it's not gonna get better. I said the big problem we have is just quite literally the fact that the heat waves are not only getting more, like we are looking at another heat wave of the same size this year. Like apparently, I think end of July, beginning August, a lot of people are projecting another heat wave, which is bad. That's just capital B bad. And the thing is just, okay, so we have more heat waves. The heat waves are getting longer. That's a problem. But also, really crucially, the peaks also get worse. Like, the previous peaks of a heat wave was around 34 to 35 degrees Celsius. That is warm, but keep in mind, those were 1 or 2 days, like a few days per year. We were looking at up to 39 to 40 degrees Celsius for at least like 2 to 3 days in a heat wave that was already peaking at 38 degrees for like a whole week. In Brandenburg, they actually broke the record. 41.7 degrees Celsius. Again, 120 people died in Cologne on one day. I do not want to know how many people died in Brandenburg. Because, and by the way, if you're thinking, oh, so they had to open up emergency hospitals, they also had to open up emergency graveyards. The morgues were overflowing with dead bodies. They didn't have enough caskets to cool them anymore. They had to put them in like plastic bags and just cool them with ice somehow. That's the situation we had this weekend. Like, even the police couldn't like go after them because basically it's just like someone died, caused unknown, probably the heat, and then just go to the next one. Because, yeah, again, emergency graveyards. I think that is probably even worse to think about that happened. And also, more crucially, that this is not talked openly that much. I don't want to hear the phrase emergency graveyards. Yep. And it's barely talked about. It's just... Then we hear shit like, oh yeah, you know, it's perfect perfect to go into the pool or, you know, eat an ice cream. It's like, what are you doing? People are dying. There is an insane complicity that the media, like, I think the irony of the disconnect is that buildings where media companies sit have AC. I can fucking guarantee you it. When someone on TV or on the radio talks about, oh yeah, you know what, it's probably just a nice warm weather. Yes, you have a desk job in a climate-controlled building, you asshole. Well, not asshole, but like, you're not a person that like sits in an emergency vehicle, okay? Like, so people who drive the ambulance, they usually don't get sleep because their house isn't climate controlled. So they don't sleep well. I didn't sleep well. Agonia didn't sleep well. Probably everyone that didn't have an AC in a relatively climate controlled room slept well over the past week. This is destroying your mental health. Period. And then you have to be on standby or work sometimes 24-hour shifts because guess what? 120 people died. The amount of emergency calls was staggering. That means these people had to do overtime because quite simply there were not enough people to take care of it. And they were sitting quite literally in buildings waiting for their call, which if it didn't happen all the time, that were also not climate controlled, kind of just hoping to get a call so they can sit in vehicles that are climate controlled. By the way, can you just point out how absolutely fucked it is that it is completely normal for cars to be climate controlled? Because you would not sell a car nowadays if it didn't have AC. But buildings, yeah, well, that's just up to you how you do that, I guess. But yeah, sorry for being a bit angry, but yeah, they have to, they then drive around and, have to then go outside into elderly care homes or other homes where, there's no climate control, so they just are in the heat again, and then they have to work, and then they have to, take care of people in the heat, and then bring them to hospitals where, and I kid you not, they bring people to the hospitals with literal symptoms from overheating to hospitals that are not climate controlled. So they are just, not getting help. And then they have to also do evacuation stuff because guess what? Well, when someone realizes maybe we need to have a hospital that's climate controlled. Oh, but wait, maybe we just use those halls where usually the Gamescom is in because they are. Fuck. Anyway, sorry for the small rant. And by the way, after that 24-hour shift, when they are going to be sent home, legally required, because yeah, 24-hour shift is fucked up, especially in the heat. You know what? Remember in the beginning? Yeah, going back to non-climate controlled homes so they can sleep. At which point do we sit down and just do the bare minimum of just legislative ruling? Because it is genuinely absurd that we deal with that every single year. And let me be clear here. This is already proper investment that isn't yet. That's the thing, It's the minimum they can do is just say, hey, hospitals, care homes, etc. Everything where the vulnerable people are. There should be minimum and maximum amounts of, heat allowed in those rooms. That should be the law. Minimum and maximum amounts. If the temperature in there doesn't go above it. Or below, because, winter exists. And, then this shit would be taken care of. But, also I will say, we definitely need heat pumps and ACs in homes because, look, when I look at a mobile AC, I look at something that will help a bit. We need to accept the fact that fixed ACs, dual systems, are just so superior, it is not even funny anymore. And yet, we do factually nothing. And then some shitheads come around and are like, if we install AC everywhere, then actually we will make it worse because ACs produce heat. Shut the fuck up. People are dying. Period. The one thing we have, is ACs. We can still talk about methods on how to reduce the amount of heat an AC has to get out of the room. And I'm very open for that. But let's install the ACs first, okay? Because genuinely, it is kind of wild that the political stance this year on ACs is simply, I don't want people to die. Anyway, shall we switch to another depressing topic? Microsoft can go fuck itself. Holy shit, like, gah. Look, I'm not even surprised they're going to close Arcane. I'm not even remotely surprised. It is the same studio that already closed Arcane Austin over the simple cause of saying, yeah, they were too much to handle. What do you mean they were too much to handle? You bought them. Oh my god.
Objective Echo is under hostile.
We're close to mission complete. Press on and take victory.
Objective Charlie secured.
Yeah, the whole, you know, I'm not even surprised that, the layoffs are going to be worse. Oh yeah. No, that's absolutely fair. It's like, you know, the thing hearing like, oh yeah, basically every single studio that, every single fucking studio, probably aside from Bethesda, because, you know, they have Fallout, and I guess Fallout and Elder Scrolls are big enough names and sales numbers, because like they are thinking in sales numbers, let's just be real here. It's just going to die. That Phil bought. Thanks, Phil. What the fuck? So what was all that for? How did the Monopoly plan work out? Just kill half of the industry. Just fucking do it, I guess. Like, I'm sorry if I'm just very much in a sour mood, but like, again, I called that. I called it years ago. And people were telling me, don't overreact. Don't overreact what? Consume, like Unicron, yeah! Well, and then like, why don't you buy new game? What is wrong with new game? And I just sit there being like, I don't know. Maybe like, but you know what? I'm going to be a petty little bitch here about Halo, because here's the thing: I like Halo. I have like, I think legitimately 3 or 4 copies of Halo 3 for some godforsaken reason. I don't know. I don't even have a box. There's literally the thing in my mind that I should probably just go into the store and buy a box for Halo 3 at some point, just to have a box. But the thing is, Halo is a good series. Halo knew exactly what it wanted to be. And then 343 Industries took literally one half-assed swing at something on their own and canned it immediately. I'm probably one of the few people that would defend Halo 4 to a degree. But look, I know the problems. It's just, they never made another good one. And then you have like long-ass discussions with people online being like, but Halo Infinite is great. And I just sit there being like, where? No one is playing it. And then you get things like, well, it's on Game Pass. And like, it's a free-to-play game. Look, it's a free-to-play game. Economy changed and I cannot afford computer even just to play a game if I want to. You know what? It's just not that. It's just also the fact that Look, there are games like, for example, Battlefield, where people are like, why do you play this? And the answer is, I don't know. Okay? I just like Battlefield. I know there will definitely be a point that's in my life where I will just walk away from the series. It's not yet. But truth be told, you know, just be fucking direct. The last games they did were also just ass. Like, sorry, I want to say nicer things about it, but like I legitimately tried to play Halo Infinite. The game was bad. Like in a holy shit, why do people like this way bad? Like in a look, I genuinely think people who defend this have not played the old games. Or, you know, have not attempted to actually learn the old games. And that probably sounds a bit harsh, but like... Like, where should I begin other than, oh yeah, look, the assault rifle is just the strong, one of the best guns in the game now. It's not supposed to. It literally, it never was supposed to. The whole point was that the assault rifle was not good. That you have to search out other guns. It did the job. That's it. That was the whole point. But nope, now it's just like you can sprint, and the pistol is strong, and the assault rifle is strong. And from what I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, they even had like random weapon spawns, so... Okay. Nowhere like real playing around strong points anymore, I guess. And when I did play it, melee was broken. I don't know if it ever was unbroken, but I don't know. But yeah, and that's the that's like the most recent game, a free-to-play multiplayer shooter that couldn't really hold people. Was consistently outperformed by the Master Chief Collection for obvious reasons, and now they're making another remake only of the campaign for yeah, and then just fucking AI generate their description of co-op. It's just, look, I don't even know what to say here anymore. And then I hear shit like, and you know what, fuck it, I'm going to be petty like this, but I'm sorry. If you want to, I know this is hard. I know working on a game or a series that is long running, okay? You need to watch out for details. And especially nowadays, in times where people can be lore obsessed, yeah, you need to watch. It can be horrible. And in some degree, you just have to stand your ground and just make decisions. And then there's shit like, oh look, we made prequel missions to the original Halo, so you know a little bit more what happened before the events of Halo 1, and you're like, oh, okay, good. And then they turn the description, God, that's all. Oh, you know what? We can get into that. It's so stupid and it's insane, because it created a completely avoidable backlash. But I mean, aside from the fact they are using Gen AI in that project anyway, but you know. The thing is, then you see footage from those prequel missions, and Master Chief is called a demon. Now, For a bit of context in the series, yes, the Covenants do call Master Chief a demon. From the second game onwards, because you need to keep in mind, the Halos, like the thing the whole series is named after and where the first game plays on, are sacred objects to them. They are religious. Master Chief destroys one of them. Spoiler for Halo 1, by the way, you destroy the Halo. Like, that's how the game ends. So, from then onward, the Covenant call him a demon because, you know, he destroyed one of their sacred objects. This is like the easiest bit of continuity. I think everyone here will probably grasp, like, yeah, that makes sense, right? But no, apparently not the literal people that make the game. But then again, will those prequel missions be written by people or AI generated? I don't know. Well, you know, the writing. Listen, that is like the easiest fuck up. Oh, hey, there's a death in the team, in the enemy team. But yeah, that is like one of the easiest continuity fuck ups. Like, it is so easy to avoid because, like, what? And mind you, this is from a studio that was literally founded for the sole purpose of making Halo games. It's their job. And yet, for some reason, every time something about a new Halo game comes out, the whole internet basically just sits there being like, these people are supposed to be the expert. How do I keep missing shit? And like over and over and over again, like, and then it's and then there's constantly the whole, well, why doesn't Halo sell anymore? And I just sit here being like, I don't know. Maybe because the last one that was good was Reach. I know people are still debating about that take, but I don't care. Reach was good. And then the moment 343 Industries took over, it just nosedived. Maybe that's the case? Maybe that's why no one is playing it anymore? Or, you know, look, let's just talk about the obvious thing in the room and why I think everything Microsoft is doing right now is insulting to, like, everyone. People have moved on from Halo. People moved on from Gears of War. It's not like these games are bad, but I don't think they ever managed to meaningfully reinvent themselves in a way that, you know, they went with the time. This doesn't mean, you know, they're bad. From all I heard, Gears 5 is good, apparently. But there's just no more, you know, wider cultural interest in it. And then Game Pass came on top, and, you know, the moment everyone was able to not give a shit, they just stopped giving a shit. And that's just the thing about Microsoft. And you know what? Now I hear shit like, oh yeah, we are refocusing on, you know, big important titles. And for some reason it's Halo and Gears of War, you know, the ones that didn't make anything big in the last years. And I know Bethesda also isn't like the biggest seller. Like, let's just look up. Dishonored. 2.0, roughly 2.5 million in sales. That's fine for Bethesda. Fun fact, the last games from Halo, like last Halo games and Gears games also did sell around that ballpark, but you know, because there was one title in their history that sold more, well, maybe we can revive that, I guess. You know, with Spit and Hope. That's the thing. They are currently... I can tell you, they're purging everything besides Fallout, the Elder Scrolls, and well, Halo, Gears, and Forza. That's it. Oh, by the way, if you ever wondered, hey, what was that notice from IO Interactive about, yeah, our original IP project just kind of fell apart because someone pulled out? That was Microsoft. IO has to do layoffs. You know, IO Interactive successfully revived the Hitman series as probably one of the few, like, working single-player live service games. They also managed to make a highly successful James Bond game. Now they have to do layoffs because Microsoft is just like, I don't think we should work together with those people that are like on a streak. What are we partly for Kami? I can play shooters anywhere. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, yeah, there are like a lot of shooters out there nowadays. Like, I think what's also a thing that is just killing Halo, ironically, even though there are not many clones of it anymore, is just, well, look, the moment Halo started dipping was also kind of the whole start of the boomer shooter revival. Like, oh, you want to have like a good single-player shooter experience? There is so much on Steam. There's like for everything, something. I can look at, like, I got some ones recommended. They're probably on sale. Like, look, the last ones I played, and I can definitely recommend them. Were Malapetaka, so very like trippy game from I think Indonesia. I think Indonesia, yeah. Great one. Project Absentia. Gay Angel shooty game, yes, that's also there. I think someone at that company, and I'm also following them, also is making a shooter called Coven, which I'm interested in, but you know, it's been on hold for a while due to personal problems. But you know, oh, you play a witch on a quest through the ages, and like, again, there's just good shit to play. You don't exactly have that anymore just with Halo, really. I kind of wish there was a good Halo thing, but still. It exists. Otherwise, I will say, yeah, you also have basically the IMSM genre that is currently expanding again, which is great. But like, look, I cannot even begin to tell to talk about the fact that we live in a time, okay, where you can buy a working copy of System Shock, like an updated version, a whole remake of System Shock 1, a remastered version of System Shock 2 where even the co-op works now. There's going to be a remaster of the first Thief game. There is like IMSIM influences everywhere. Like they are developed right now. Hell, look, as much as I have problems with it, even Baldur's Gate 3 had to a degree IMSIM elements, which pulled people in because guess what? Having a bunch of interlocking systems that are weird is actually really appealing. And yeah, Dishonored didn't sell that much, but Prey kept being one of the most prolific IMSIM games of the last decade. And I probably need to play it at some point because god damn it, it looks great. But here's the thing. You see this renaissance of IMSIM games, and apparently Microsoft, who literally had the two devs that made IMSIM games, the two studios, they had them and they want to get rid of them. What can I actually say at this point? You know? Like, look, Microsoft already had an Exodus once, after the Xbox 360. And one of the things that people were telling me up and down, where I was completely wrong about apparently, was the fact that Microsoft killed their own projects with relentless micromanagement and shifting of priorities because they kept wanting to make them into big titles. And I think the most prolific case of that is Remedy. Because Remedy definitely, actually, like, they clearly planned on working together with Microsoft for a long time. Like, the first Alan Wake game was a Microsoft title. Microsoft funded title, for which they then, kept the licenses, but that's a different topic. And they kind of wish to probably have a bit of at least control over. I wish they could have kept control over Max Payne, but that's a different topic. And then they made Quantum Break, a game that was critically panned. But apparently mainly because a lot of stuff in the game that became more and more bland was because apparently Microsoft just kept saying, no, this should be in there. It should be more of a shooter, it should be more of this, it should be more of that. And you know what Remedy did? Remedy said, fuck this shit. Went independent and reused all that technology and made Control. Control is a game that Microsoft would have never been able to do because they would look at what if we do, well, the Super X-Files in a brutalist, surrealist building, like completely based on effectively SCP, also female protagonist. Nah. For that trying to be a big budget title, they wouldn't have gotten away with that. And yet Control is like one of their biggest brands now, because turns out a lot of people wanted to play Control. But here's the thing, Control was also never an IP that actually made a lot of money. And that's fine. But like, look, Microsoft is the peak example of they do not want some money, they want all of the money. Like, I don't know. Let's just also point out that, like, a lot of money just vanished from the console market. Or, like, just generally the market itself. Because if it, when a project fell through, usually there were, like, a bunch of, you know, mid-sized to larger publishers that could catch things up. Like, the reason we have Dishonored, the reason Arcane is how it is, okay, is because of Bethesda. Like, and I don't mean that in the whole, Bethesda, you know, they initiated projects. No. The thing is, Arcane pitched Dishonored to basically everyone. And Dishonored would have not happened if not, you know, Bethesda at the very fucking last minute was like, actually no, we like that concept. Go for it. Do your whale oil battery steampunk magic world thing that is weirdly fleshed out. With, like, literally the idea that, you know, you might be doing sequels afterwards. If they ever happen. Who cares? We're down for that. And it paid off. But, like, the whole this wouldn't have happened without Bethesda is such a long-standing storyline. Not that Bethesda was perfect, but Bethesda saved a lot of shit. And the thing is, because Bethesda picked shit up and it was viable for them, and there were also like a bunch of other companies that could pick shit up and do stuff with them, but look. Deep Silver should have not been brought up by Embracer. Like, I'm sorry. That is the other problem. You had companies like back when Embracer didn't also gobble up like everything in the wake of Microsoft, like everything mid-sized. Remember there were like more companies. And to a degree, Focus filled that in, and Nacron also, but not everything. But like one of the biggest, you know, just people that kept handing out contracts in the game industry, Bethesda, was just gone. Like, we all joke about, you know, oh, they just keep re-releasing Skyrim, but, like, let's just be real. Re-releasing Skyrim gave them a lot of money. Like, and then they did weird shit with that. Like, remember Rage 2? Remember that id Software made a game called Rage? And it was alright from what I know. I have it. Maybe we should play it at some point again. But basically everyone was like, well, Rage, that existed. Even more held back than Doom 3 or Quake 4. And then a few years later, Bethesda just announced, hey, we're making a sequel to that. That just does a lot of different things and is, like, made by Avalanche. You know, the Just Cause devs, not the, you know, shitheads that make the turf game. And that was interesting. You know what I mean? They just kept doing stuff like that. And they were not perfect, but I don't think people are, have like fully realized what was actually lost.
Objective Charlie has been seized by hostiles.
Enemy forces have secured an advantage.
Yeah, no, what we're looking at now is just like the destruction of half the industry in one summer.
Hey, thank you!
I just... I don't know what to say about that. Like, combustion games, compulsion games is going to be dead. Ninja Theory is also going to be dead, which, look, as a studio, I will not give them a lot of credit because I think they had like a very rancid streak of that of stuff, but you know what's actually genuinely going to be like a massive loss with Ninja Theory, because like I look back into that. Ninja Theory has some of the best motion capturers in the industry. That is generally the one reason they could even make Hellblade back then. And if you remember that, the whole thing was like, Hellblade wasn't even that good. Their whole thing was just like, we look like a AAA game, but you know, we're independent and we only charge $30. And you know, suddenly they had a game that you couldn't criticize. Even if you pointed out how much the game is just bare bones, or like even has some really, really rancid writing in it. What do you defend the AAA industry? I don't care. But the thing is, again, they are really good at, they have a really, really good motion capture studio. They help other studios out with that. The moment they are getting closed down, once again, there's just a whole bunch of, like, vital, stuff just gone. And that's bad. I don't think we should like have this much of a massive brain drain just because, you know, as a studio they didn't produce Halo 2. You know, Halo... Yeah. It's the end of the game industry as we know it. Yeah. I think there will be some very, very, very big changes. Like I think some companies will stay because, like, here's the thing. I don't think gaming will go away because, like, we all like games. Gaming will never die in that regard. I think, ironically, Steam will probably survive. Mainly because, you know, they don't have shareholders. I think some of the bigger publishers will probably survive because look, we're looking. I'm playing right now the most sold shooter of the last year, and quite literally one of the features they had was rerun on crappy machines. Seems at least EA had. You know what? Fuck it. Vince Zampella is dead. This was Vince Zampella. It wouldn't surprise me if there's going to be some absolutely stupid decisions short now because he's just gone and not able to tell anyone to not do bullshit anymore. It could genuinely be the case. And like, yeah, I think a few will survive, but also just the amount of money that is currently being drained is insane. And I think a lot are seeing the writing on the wall. I mean, I don't know how they might be able to do it. But I do think also, especially the investor model will die. In some form. Because the thing is just, video games are not an industry where you can go public in the future. What this will mean for some companies? No. Would it be a crash? Maybe. I don't think crash in the sense that people expect it to be, but something will break. Like, you know what's even more wild to me that I just keep hearing? That there are analysts and people out there who are like, oh no, the next console generation is definitely coming next year. And I'm just sitting here being like, in what reality? In what fucking reality will that happen? Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. And yeah, even so stupid, it's like, oh no, hardware is only a steal when, you know, it's new, so they have to bring it out as early as possible, or, you know, no. No, they don't. Like, look, the PS5 is going to still be relevant. And honestly, this is probably the part that people don't understand. The PlayStation 3 happened. Let's just talk very openly here. There was already one generation that just didn't really go well for everyone really involved. Well, it went well for Microsoft, but you know, it went kind of badly for Sony, and Nintendo also kind of struggled a little bit, and then, you know, the Wii U happened. But here's the thing. Ever notice how the PS3 gave a flying fuck about what the actual hardware was on the market? From what we know from leaks, that the PlayStation 6 was apparently mainly a thing to be cheap. You know, not in the sense of, you know, bad console. They definitely wanted to have, you know, new features and, you know, basically keep all the baseline stuff from the PS5 and, you know, backwards compatibility, and also being like still a significant hardware upgrade, but from the stuff we know, the PS6 was actually planned to be cheap. To be something that people can buy. That makes sense, right? That makes total sense.
Forces are still controlling the fight. Break their hold.
But yeah, now the AI bubble is out, and let's just be real here. They can actually afford to not release the PlayStation 6. Having buy a thing is good for business. Exactly. And I think there is a very big thing to keep in mind, that what I think analysts, again, who have constantly, well, not constantly, but sometimes just very bad takes on the most obvious things, is that, look, hardware in gaming is not dictated by what is available. Hardware is dictated by what is demanded. That is an absolutely crucial thing to keep in mind. And what is demanded is going, you know, widely apart, because, like, for example, there are still people on PC who just bitch about the fact that some games are just not optimized on HDDs, and, you know, not everyone is supposed to buy an SSD. Look, without the AI bubble, it's 2026, buy an SSD. What the fuck is your problem? At some point, we genuinely need to leave HDDs behind, aside from, you know, bulk storage. Like, I'm not kidding at this point. It is not even it is generally not a big question for you to have like 1 or 2 sizable SSDs in your rig if you just are smart enough. But no, people want to have like the quadrillion terabyte HDD, and, you know, rather bitch about the fact that why do games are now being designed around having fast loading times? I don't know. Because that's actually like a better thing to do. Also, by the way, consoles. Because turns out, the moment the consoles actually went to having SSDs in their rig, everyone started using them. Like, okay, here's the thing. SSDs are not new, okay? SSDs have been around for a long time. I still remember when Battlefield 3 came out and there was a discussion, should you have an SSD to cut down the loading times of Battlefield? And the answer was generally yes. Even if expensive, it helps with big games. And also, by the way, the fact that games are bloating, I'm sorry to say this, but people who are like, why are games so big? HDDs. You fucking idiots, it's your HDDs. Like, but what is the why would they be big on HDDs but not SSDs? Well, the answer is pretty simple. HDDs are slow. They have slow as shit. They're like fucking turtles crawling over the ground. And the thing here is, to have like relatively normal loading times, you know, performance, the thing they also want, games have to actually go and duplicates in terms of files. So when games then start also looking good, game size suddenly get big. And even if game doesn't even look that good, turns out game size can still be big. Yes. Da, 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 da. All right. And with that, I also go. Just have to do something very quickly before the month ends. At least I think it's an end. Yep, it will end today.
Objectives are confirmed. Capture and resist all hostile attacks. Let's go.
Es que no es el hecho, es que no es el hecho, es la forma.
Our attack on Alpha is in progress.
Es como si te hablo yo de un chicle estirado.
Parish, voice chat user.
We have secured Charlie.
We're attempting to capture Delta. Defensive position is needed on the marked objective. Objective Charlie is
Shit,
under control.
shit. What? Okay.
Hostiles have seized objective Foxtrot.
But yeah, in the end, I will just say, they can actually delay the next console generation. No problem.
Our troops are controlling the fight.
Also, it's 30 minutes left during the month, and I will just upload the next chapter of my project. It's like, I still got it out in June! Yay! Despite the heat wave, despite everything.
Be advised, enemy sniper confirmed, bearing east. Our troops have secured more objectives.
There we go.
Move to attack the marked objective.
So, sorry for the interruption, but that had to go out still today. I mean, look, I should definitely get a bit of better work ethic going if I really want to get through like the whole year, like getting one chapter out per month, because I should not do things on the last minute that is
Lost objective Alpha.
not that useful, but I keep doing it and oops.
Foxtrot has
Hey, so far, basically 7 months, 7 chapters. It started in December, so, you know,
seized by hostiles.
I keep working on my stuff.
Our troops are still controlling.
But, yeah, the thing about consoles is, and that there's just a crucial thing. The most popular system dictates what is being used in game. Period. This doesn't mean, you know, that there is not one of those, oh, you can't have upsides, you know, like using SSD on PC. But in general, if you want your game to work on HDDs, and you know, up until the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, everyone was using HDDs. So all the games had huge file sizes because you didn't, and they still have, because like, remember how many, think about how many cross-platform games are coming out to this day. And then usually there's now on posting within a month. Thanks, Sophie. Hope you enjoy reading it. I will still post it on the Discord, but I put it out on Blue Sky first because that's where people can see it. Anyway, but here's the thing. That is still done because, you know, a lot of games run on the PlayStation 4, and yeah, they can have problems there. Now, that you can do it differently is shown over and over and over again. Like, for example, a good example recently, or 2 good examples were actually, on one hand, Helldivers 2. a game that was over 100 gigabytes big at some point, and then Nixus came in and reduced it to 23. Because turns out, the moment you actually use SSDs and you have like a good streaming system, you don't need that many file duplicates. Which is kind of a benefit. Like, sure, some games will still balloon, like, for example, look at Battlefield here. There's just going to be a lot of content, like visual stuff, etc., that will just make games go big. And if you, do some stuff like have better textures, etc., well, file size will go big. For example, if you download the 4K texture pack for Borderlands 2, for example, I think I might actually do if we ever get to that playthrough at some point, which is something we have been planning for so long but have not started yet, even though we're actually kind of interested in it. Anyway, that thing is also between 20 to 40 gigabytes from what I remember, like 30 gigabytes or so. Yeah, sorry. High quality textures just take up space, even if you don't have to duplicate them. But then, another thing that happened now is just today, Payday 2 will probably stream it also the next, over the week or so, but they released a beta, because the new devs, which is basically an ex-modding team, finally made the engine run on 64-bit architecture. So now you have wonderful features in 2026, like multi-core support, more RAM being used, like the RAM isn't bottled anymore. There is better GPU VRAM processing. So much DirectX 11 is being used. Like, hell yeah, this is a lot. And then they also rewrote completely how files are being streamed in the background. Now they are sorted, and now the game is 32 gigabytes big. And let me tell you, Payday 2, while not having, the biggest texture option, the biggest texture sizes, is still a game with over 10 years of content. There is so much shit in terms of data in that game. It being around, I think it being 86 gigabyte big, wasn't even that unrealistic. It was just like, yeah, there was just a lot of content in the game, but no, turns out, if you actually go and change how streaming works on from SSDs and such, people will things will go down. But why would you do that? Well, basically only because, when you can assure that most of the systems you play on have SSDs, and nowadays we are in a time where most people actually have SSDs. That's how that works. And trust me, people cannot afford new hardware right now. We are already seeing games come out that basically know that. And then you have stuff like, and I can tell you, if Sony just decides, nope, we're just not going to release the next PlayStation, people are gonna be like, oh, but Microsoft, yeah, Microsoft could. Microsoft will probably, because Microsoft is fucking stupid. Microsoft will bring out a $1,000 console. Sony will probably bring out theirs 1 or 2 years later, with, a smaller price, probably better performance, and then everyone will switch. Because the thing is, Fortnite will not orient itself on, the highest, on the newest console. It will orientate itself on the console that is most used. That's what all the games do. It's kind of wild that I need to point this out. I genuinely hope they are not releasing a new console next year, because that would be just the dumbest thing to do. And again, the argument for people are like, oh, but this is the best time to release new hardware because then the new good hardware is out and no one cares about that. No one cares about that, you know? It's kind of wild, in my opinion, to need to say that, but again, the PlayStation 3 was an unwieldy fucking monster of a console, and it ran for nearly 9 years, and yet games were still being designed to run on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 in the final years. Not only that, there was like actually a sales bump at the very end. Mostly ironically to you know, GTA 5, but that's a different topic.
We're still winning the fight. Our strategy is working. Attention, we need defensive
I mean, you see what I mean?
objective.
A new console generation is not relevant because console generations are not bound by the market they're in. Like when the PlayStation 4 came out, it was a powerful console. It was, by all means, not the not using the best hardware available at that time. PlayStation 5 also isn't using the best hardware available. Hell, to a degree, I would say the Steam machine is actually using the best like some of the better hardware that is currently on offer, and you know, guess what? Doesn't really help them in terms of performance. They literally had to scrap the whole it plays games in 4K 60 FPS because turns out all the, you know, more modern games, more newer games, it does not. But that's just me. Again, but on the other hand, I hope Microsoft perishes. Like, I hope Bethesda is going free, I hope Activision is going free, I hope everyone else under that radar will find either a nice home at Bethesda, or they can make like a new, another new publisher. I don't know. I just hope Xbox and Microsoft will vanish from the gaming sphere. At this point, fuck them. I've heard long enough for years that we need that. We need the competition. No. Maybe there should be a competition to Sony. Let's just not ignore that this kind of still exists due to the PC and the Switch. But you know, even if in some more, you know, indirect form, but still. But we can probably at the very fucking least agree that if there needs to be a second, you know, big console each generation, we can please all agree that it should not be made by Microsoft. Okay? We can agree on that. Right? Like, oh, who could be coming back? I don't know. SNK? It would be very funny for the Saudis to just pour money into bullshit, see no return, and then just fucking have their whole empire crumble when becoming a hardware manufacturer doesn't work out after the oil boom. It would be funny. It would be a bit sad, but it would definitely be funny to just have like a very futile attempt at a new SNK console. Anyway.
Enemy killer!
Why is it up there?
Attention, we're targeting objective Bravo. Alpha has been captured by hostiles.
Today is a lot of ranting. I wanted to chill and yap. Take have another go. You know what? A few years ago I might have agreed, but
We have initiated our attack on Alpha.
you know the problem is with also with that like Sega another go. I'd be down on paper, you know. But I think the big problem with making another console manufacturer is just the fact that they would basically cease to be a third-party publisher. And let's just be clear here. The fact that we had a bunch of third-party publishers was the reason that game industry was so incredibly healthy around during the PlayStation 4 era. Like, I am not kidding. The fact that there was so much you can put out on that console that was sometimes niche or weird and it made money. Because production costs to just port and make a game on it were not that big. Yeah, that was good. So the problem is having Sega giving it another shot would mean for a few years we just wouldn't get Sega stuff. I mean, then, you know, we will probably see the next... Look, it would be very funny if Sega starts making a console again and then they make Sonic Adventure 3 and then nobody buys it again and then, you know, a few years later they port it to the Nintendo Switch 3 and the PlayStation 7 and then it turns out, oh, everyone likes it actually. Like, I'm sorry, everyone who's like, oh yeah, you know, I really like the Dreamcast Sonic, shut up. Look, let's just be completely honest here for 1 second. Yes, you like Sonic Adventure. Yes, you probably like a lot Sonic Adventure 2. Battle. Because whom's the fuck of our generation who is shilling Dreamcast games have played those Dreamcast games on the Dreamcast in their youth? No one. We all played Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube. And then Sonic Heroes. Because that was our youth. It was, you know, the weird Sega games on the GameCube that the weird kid or, you know, your weird friend had. Or everyone else had a PlayStation 2. That's the reality. And then I hear someone like, you know, if they just re-released the Dreamcast, but with online support, nope. Even if in this day and age, the Dreamcast would not sell. It would not. Because the problems of the Dreamcast are too numerous to, like, genuinely... Look, the Dreamcast is a fascinating console and I like it, but on paper, it is a curiosity that makes it interesting. As like a pure fucking console, the Sega Genesis was bad.
All elements, attack now. We need to capture and hold the objectives. Guns up, let's go.
And I mean that, very, very directly. Oh, but it had good games. Shut the fuck up. If good games alone sold a console, well then the Sega Dreamcast would not have happened in that way. Then the Nintendo GameCube would have definitely not have happened in that way. And let's just be real, the Nintendo GameCube back then was the strongest console of the bunch until, you know, years like the Xbox came out. And it had like, and I need to be very honest here, the best exclusives lineup of that generation, period. I'm sorry, yes, every other console had a few highlights that are generally good, like I just recently played through Jak and Daxter, fantastic game. In general, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, those are good games. I will generally say, Jak, Sly, Ratchet, great games. There are definitely a few other exclusive games that are also very good, like, you know, for example, Metal Gear Solid. But let's be real here. Super Mario, Luigi's mentioned Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Power Tennis, Super Mario Smash Football. How was it called? Power? How was the Mario Football game called again on the GameCube? You like it?
Yeah, but
Strikers, Super Mario Strikers.
could be Strikers.
Strikers Charged was the Wii version.
Charged football.
Okay.
It's charged football because you charged the football.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 2. As much as I really, The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, I mean, even the Mario Party games were good on it. Like, I'm sorry, if you look at exclusive games on the GameCube, they ranged from, yes, they have problems, but still very interesting concepts, to holy shit, all killer, no filler. And I genuinely cannot say this for like any other console generations that have. Look, the GameCube lineup is insane. Okay, it is just straight up insane. And like, if some of your quote-unquote worst games
I knew you had my back.
are Star Fox Assault, a game that, let's just be real here, kind of just needs a re-release, so, you know, most of the, you know, the 3D missions are actually running, you know, at 60 FPS and, you know, have maybe a better control scheme, because that was the main problem the game had. Holy shit, your console generation is doing so well. Just period. That is just, again, a lineup for the ages.
Let's go.
And the GameCube sold badly. Why? Because, like, the PlayStation 2 existed. By all means, it was the PlayStation 2. If there was a game to play, it was usually on the PlayStation 2.
Objective Charlie has been lost.
And you had a DVD player. And hell, if we talk about online, I was like, oh, but Sega. Yeah, Sega had Phantasy Star online. Good game. And look, aside from the fact that basically the online services were mainly only used in Japan and nowhere really else, the PlayStation 2 also had an online system.
I knew you had my back.
Let's move!
And look, Phantasy Star. Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good little MMO. It's not bad. The PlayStation 2 had a little game series called, I don't know, Monster Hunter. Ever heard of that? It became pretty big later on.
Hold it.
Oh, but were there other co-op games on the PlayStation? Resident Evil Outbreak. Look, if there was an online mode that the PlayStation 2 had, it was usually really fucking good. Yeah, no one played it. Because, well... Look, the best joke I ever found is, you know, when... was, you know, someone basically going, hey, that little compartment at the back of your PlayStation 2 where you hide your weed that actually has a function. And like, yes, I guess. I'm sorry, the Sega the Dreamcast never had a chance against the PlayStation 2. Would also not have a chance against the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, or 5. And this is with some enjoyable games, but like... I mean, fucking hell. Even Sega forgot how to make Crazy Taxi good. So what are we doing here? Anyway, yep. Down with Microsoft. I think that's something to say. But yeah, I actually don't know. Like, you know, as dumb as it sounds, like, look, I don't want it to happen because it's the Saudis. But the irony is when I said SNK should make one with their money, that would probably actually be not a bad thing. Because it would be someone who's not like a big influence in terms of third-party investments. They would they have the monetary backing to generally do stuff. And the few exclusives they have would be, you know, fighting games, and those are not bad, but still. And probably also, you know, a new Metal Slug, but anyway. God, where did we start today? Heat deaths, I think. Anyway. Tomorrow's Monster Hunt again. It's gonna be very fun because we're like actually killing through all the missions. So, oh boy, that is just. We will be at Naga at some point. That's great, and I get my new sword. Agonia, are you looking forward to Monster Hunter?
Which monster?
Audible for tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just like, you know, we have like just one more round, and like I just want to talk about Monster Hunter tomorrow. It's just fun to think about because, like, yeah, now we're just killing everything, and it's also fun.
The question is, can I kill Naga with a sword and shield?
Well, only for you to find out, I guess.
I'm giving the fault to Discord, by the way. As always.
It is the fault of Discord. Like, maybe we need to actually farm. Okay, that's generally one of those things why I think that maybe the best tactic is actually that, you know, you can you know, redo it together. So I unlock it, and then, you know, we can maybe do some upgrades to the hot spring. That would be probably the best, that you can just have like baseline more stamina and more health. But also, I think another big problem that we need to look into is just, we probably just need to get you a better sword and shield in some form.
We can't.
Okay, like, let me guess. Naga is weak against fire, right?
Correct.
And the better fire one is...
Hiring Rattlers. Which we unlock after defeating Naga.
Oh.
Well, technically you can go with me afterwards with the Hiring Rattlers quest. I don't think I need to be on a hunter rank to join.
Could be. We need to check. But that would maybe actually be like a workaround to get you a good sword and shield and then defeat Naga.
A better sword and shield.
Better, yeah. I think that is a fair assessment to make. A better. Hey, just killed me. What the shit? I don't want to be killed instantly. But yeah, we definitely need to find a way because like it's kind of funny how that one block I don't think I think you should probably be able to do it like as long as you have, you know, enough items to get through everything. Which is why I think, you know, at least the upgrades to the guild hall would probably be very useful for you, but just overall I would say we will kill a lot anyway, and you should be getting through it even with your damage, even if it just takes a while.
It's
Dying is more a problem.
I don't die against Naga, you know. Naga is attention grabbing enough that I don't underperform.
Yeah, that's why I will think, you know, if you get me through it and we do like one upgrade to the hot spring, it would probably be easier for you overall, but having a good plan is one thing. Like, I'm sorry, chat.
So either I do it on my own, when you do it on your own, or I help you. You farm Rathalos with me, hiring your next huntering you unlock.
If you can join me, yes.
If I can join you, and then I can kill it slightly faster, and it won't take 20 minutes. But on the next huntering, we also unlock the Pass mission for the volcano, which is where we can farm a lot of talismans.
A lot of what?
Talismans.
Fair enough. And with the talismans, maybe you get something good.
No, you can do that while I kill Naga.
Okay, that's fair. That I can do. Just have a better talisman. Huh? Yeah, fair point.
We don't even need to farm post-game stuff, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Bravo is under enemy control.
Oh my! Tomorrow will be very interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, before that, we have to kill at least 3 Ludroths. 2 purple and 1 normal. Yeah, and the Kuropeko.
Kopeko should be no problem.
Ludroths should also not be the biggest problem, you
But I
know.
need to upgrade my water weapon. For the Kuropeko. I'm not sure what the crimson one is weak against. I need to look.
It's not a crimson one. It's just a normal, I think. Maybe we unlock a crimson afterwards, but it's just a Kuropeko. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm also very happy that we have some purple loot drops happening right now because they're fun. And it's exactly the thing I wanted to show people about this game to a degree, because I do think the whole, oh hey, because I do think all the subspecies are really cool. So yeah. What is going on? Ah.
We have secured Charlie. Be advised, Charlie is under attack.
Damn it. It was working alright.
Be advised, we need to right defense of the marked objective. The enemy is still winning the fight. Hit back and take control. Close to victory. I need everyone on the offensive. Everyone.
Right back!
Oh. Ah. At least that went today relatively well. Some of the contracts would actually be a bit annoying, but well, the event, you have most stuff done. It's just complete matches. Yeah, no problem. Win matches, absolutely not a problem. Yeah, that should not be a problem. And we get like robot arm to smack people with. Amazing. Oh well. That's the best. You can now just be like, Oh, it really is just a parachute. It really is just a parachute. Yeah, I've seen all of it. I don't want to notice. Bliss, they finally have added the button for it. But yeah, we all had fun. Again, tomorrow is more Monster Hunter stuff, and very much looking forward to that. We will be there again, and see you all around. And read my stuff. I generally post on Discord and Blue Sky. So yeah, see you all around then. Bye.